This is Unit 7, Level 2, Coordinate Graphing. In upper grades, you will graph in more than just the first quadrant. It'll look more like this. And this is all 4 quadrants: Quadrant 1, Quadrant 2, Quadrant 3, and Quadrant 4. But for 5th grade, we just focus on this area right here, which is Quadrant 1, which is all positive values. I'll go ahead and erase that now, but just letting you know that you're going to branch out a little bit further with this as you move up into middle school. So we're going to start with Quadrant 1, and we're going to start with some vocabulary terms that you need to know before you graph. So we're going to start here. I'm going to try to make this dot right here where the point 0, 0 is. This is called the origin. It is where you are always going to start when you are coordinate graphing. So origin. Now, you always want to go to the right first. When you're dealing with Quadrant 1, you're always going to go to the right first. You're always going to move to the right before moving up. And you're going to be moving on what we call the x-axis. Okay, and that's this line. I'll highlight it really quick and then I'll write it. This is line right here. This is the x-axis. If that's the x-axis, then this guy right here is going to be the y-axis. Now, I always remember that in the alphabet, x comes before y, and that helps you remember which way I'm going to go. I'll oftentimes say, too, you have to run before you can jump, meaning you have to go to the right before you can move up. But when you're looking at any, what we call coordinate point, your first number is always going to be the x, and the second number is always going to be the y. So this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. That means that this 1 and this first one is going to be the x-coordinate, and the 2 is going to be the y-coordinate. Again, x always comes before the y. Okay, so we have some vocabulary. Now we're going to go ahead and start plotting some points. So on this first point, my coordinate is 1, and you'll notice the comma in between 2. The comma is just there to separate the two numbers so that you know the two numbers, which means I'm going to move 1 spot over on the x-axis and 2 spots up on the y-axis. So I do that by starting at the origin. I'm going to move to the right 1, and I'm going to move up 2. Now, I wouldn't expect you to put these marks on your paper. In fact, please don't, because it'll get confusing. But I'm just doing it so that you can visualize where I'm moving. So I'm going over to the right 1 and up 2, and I'm going to put that point. Notice I put that point because they're whole numbers. I'm going to put them right there on where the lines intersect. Okay, so I'll go ahead and erase that first motion I did. And now we'll move to number 2. Number 2 says our coordinate is 2, 6. So I'm going to go ahead and start at the origin. I'm going to move to the right 2, and then I'm going to move up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to make my mark. That's the point for the coordinate 2, 6. Go ahead and erase this, and we'll do another one. Next one we'll do is number 3, where it says 3, 5. This guy right here. So we're going to start again at the origin, 0, 0, move to the right 3, and then I'm going to move up 5. And I'm going to go ahead and put a mark. Again, if my number was a fraction, it wasn't a whole number, or it was a decimal that wasn't quite a whole number, I could go in between the lines, but because these are whole numbers, I'm going to go right there on the line. We'll do one more for you, number 4, which is 5, 7. So again, I'm going to start at the origin. I'm going to move to the right 5, and I'm going to move up 7. Go ahead and put my mark right there. This is graphing on a coordinate plane. Again, in that first quadrant. Now in my next example, they already have some shapes listed here, I need to find the coordinates, or what we call the ordered pair, for each shape on the graph below. So for example, I'm going to first look at the number 1, which is the star. That star is right up here. So what they're basically asking me to do is to find that ordered pair, meaning I have to find the x coordinate and then the y coordinate. Again, remember this is the x-axis. This is the y-axis. And so I got to find the x coordinate and the y coordinate that's going to help me to get to that star. Again, I always start here at 0, 0, which is the origin. And I'm going to see how many spaces I'm moving over till I get to where the star is, and it looks like I'm going 7. So 7 is going to be my x coordinate. And then how many spaces I'm moving up to get to that guy, and it is 9. So my coordinate or ordered pair for the star would be 7, 9. On the next one, I'm looking at the circle, that guy right there. Again, I'm going to start at that origin and see how many spaces I'm moving over to that number 3. That's going to be my x coordinate. And then how many places I'm moving up, and that's 5, to get to my y. So the circle's located at the ordered pair 3, 5. I'll go ahead and do one more for you. On this last one, we're going to look at the heart. So again, starting at the origin, to find my x coordinate, I'm going to move over to the right. I'm going to see that that's number 9. And to get the y coordinate for my ordered pair, I'm going to move up to the number 4. So to get to the heart, it would be moving over to the right 9 and going up 4. This is how you find an ordered pair. In our next video, we're going to go ahead and apply this to some real world situations and show you how that you can graph those. This is Unit 7, Level 2, Graphing on the Coordinate Plane.